Hello. I'm not sure how this is gonna go because I'm in my mom's terrace. I cannot shout that much because there's neighbors, of course, but I want you to hear me well. So let's test this out. Let's see how it goes. I love that I have like a million topics on a list on my Notion. I love my Notion, but then I always talk about whatever is in my head that week or that day. So this is what we're going to do right now. I have a lot of interesting topics that at some point I want to touch on, but I don't feel like talking about those because for this one I want to talk about the relationship I have with work and friendships and co-workers and all this dynamic, because sometimes it can be messy. It's been messy for me, and I guess it's been messy for a lot of people, and it's normal. So yeah, let's dive into it. When you go to work, it can be, it doesn't need to be, but it can be a bit difficult, these relationships you have with co-workers. Of course, for me, if I go to work, I go to work and I'm there to do my thing and I'll do my tasks and stuff, but it's also important to consider the people around you. And we are spending at work at least 7 hours per week. If you're doing full-time, 7 to 8 hours per week at least, because in a lot of places people do extra hours like crazy. So yeah, there's a lot of time that you spend with those people, so might as well have a good relationship with them. And I don't think I am the best at doing the effort, but I'm just doing my job the best that I can and taking into account other people and trying to help always other people, but also focus on my stuff. I'm trying to not, I don't know if I'm trying intentionally or if it comes unconsciously, but I'm trying for the most part to not get that close to coworkers, because the relationships with them can get really tricky. And you are coworkers, but you don't know where's the line, if at some point you're talking as friends, you're talking as coworkers, or what's the deal. And it happened in the past, especially with a boss. I will always remember that he was trying to be the cool boss, and he was cool. I'm not saying he was fake or anything. He was really cool, he was really nice, but he was my boss. But then Friday afternoon or any afternoon, we were go, oh my god, the sun. I don't think this was a good idea, but let's continue. The boss was really nice. We had kind of a good connection and we were doing things after work, but then at work it was getting confusing sometimes, not always, when maybe he was in friends mode and I was in worker mode, or the other way around, when I thought we were chatting as friends and then he activated the boss mode, and not in a good way, because relationships are difficult in general. So imagine if relationships are difficult just with coworkers, just with friends, imagine mixing the two worlds together. And in this case it was a bit different because this person was much older than me. Back then I was like 25, this person maybe was 50 something. So I knew that we wouldn't get like a strong, deep friendship just because we were in different stages in life, and that's completely fine. Nothing against him, he was amazing. It was the first experience that it made me realize that you need to be really careful with relationships at work, like friendships, because when the line is a bit blurry, it can get a bit messy. And sometimes you argue as co-workers, but since you have other feelings, since you have more baggage, more context as friends, it can be tricky. I don't want to put like really specific examples, but yeah, sometimes this was a little bit messy. If both people are mature, you can talk about it, you can talk about absolutely everything and it can get fixed. But yeah, it was good for the most part. And then it's even more tricky or trickier, I don't know what's the right term. When you go to work, you have coworkers more or less your age, and you become real friends with those people. I'm not saying that with older people I don't like the friendship is not real, because it is, but it just hits a little bit different, because if I'm friends with someone who is already, I don't know, a mom, is married and all of that, great for them, but I'm not on the same stage, so maybe there's some topics that we cannot discuss, or maybe if I want to go out at night, I don't know, when I was in my 20s, they cannot do it because they have to be with their kids and because they are tired or whatever. So when you are co-workers yeah, so I was saying that about friendships. Now this is really echoey, but I really want to do this video and forget about it. So when you are friends with coworkers and these coworkers align better with the stage that you are in your life, I feel like let's start with the positive. That's really beautiful, that's great. But since you're creating even a stronger connection with someone, it can happen in all facets of your life, but especially with coworkers, once you also become friends, and not just acquaintances, not just good coworkers, not just friendly, but friends. You're doing things quite often after work, you're traveling together, you're doing a lot of together. It's great, it's wonderful. In my case, I felt like I was living I don't want to say a dream, but I was really happy, because there's also other emotions regarding those co-workers and friends. So I was extremely happy, but this can go dark really quick. Not dark, it's not like I'm talking death or something really depressing, but whenever there's a lot of emotion and connection with someone, it's great until it isn't. And it happened to me, and it is happening currently. Not so much. Why am I scared a little bit? Not so much, but it's still happening. So it was great at one point, and then it wasn't. And it's not just that it wasn't, meaning that we were not friends anymore. It was not as nice, meaning that it was giving me, to be completely honest, a little bit of, not a little bit, it was giving me anxiety to go to work, because I know that I would bump into someone that outside of work, their relationship was good-ish, but then at work, their relationship was absolutely horrible and a mess. And it's really difficult to draw that line, because for some people, I guess it's easier, but for me, I don't change that much when I'm at work. So if I have issues with someone outside of work, I'm a professional, of course, and I will try to leave those issues on the door before going into the office. But I'm not a robot, I'm a human with feelings. So sometimes it was inevitable to see this coworker / friend at work and feel some kind of way towards him, and just play it professionally, because we are, I think, good friends. So it can become, to be honest, really toxic for no reason at all. And I guess it's like absolutely everything with life. Every time there's highs, there's gonna be lows. So if you're really happy at some point with something, just, I won't say expect the worst, but the same way that you are so happy about something, it can happen that these feelings, this mood changes completely. So just be aware. Oh my god. Yeah, I guess the whole point of this video is just be careful, be professional. Like, it's okay to be friends with coworkers. Just try to draw the line a little bit, and as with absolutely everything in life, if something comes up, communicate about it. I'm going to therapy right now. I don't know if it's therapist or psychologist that I'm having the sessions with, but something like that. She says, I feel like going to therapy is like remembering stuff that you already know, but the reminder is really good, of course, so I'm not complaining. But she said that most of the problems in life with other people, like in relationships, in family, friends, co-workers, whatever, most of the problems rise from communication issues, and that's completely understandable because sometimes people assume stuff about the other people, or people think that the other person knows something, and we don't need to assume, we don't need to take things for granted just because we would act one way or we would think that way. It doesn't mean that the other person is gonna do the same, because we are completely different people. Even if you're friends, your co-workers, and you align in some ways, you're talking about different people, so just communicate how you feel. But then we go to the other side, like, of course it's great to communicate, but if you're just co-workers, you don't want to be the annoying person saying all the time, oh, this thing bothered me, can we talk about it? Or when you said that in that meeting, I didn't like it, can we talk about it? I don't want to become that person. I know I should be okay with that, because if something is on my mind, I should be able to talk it out. But it is annoying when someone comes to you all the time saying, I need to talk about this, let's have a discussion about that. It's not the vibe, because especially when you are at work, if it's with friends, it's completely fine because you care about that person on a deeper level. But with coworkers, I don't like it when people come to me regularly saying that we need to talk about this and that on a personal level, and we are co-workers. If it happens that it's with a co-worker that you're also friends, okay, but basically the whole point of this video is just be careful, because for me personally, I really like what I do. I really like going to work. It's crazy to say it, but I do like it, and I don't want to hide it just because absolutely everyone says, oh, it's Monday, I have to go to the office and I don't like it. I do like it. Sometimes it's the weekend and I feel like going back to the office on Monday. Maybe this says that my life is a bit boring, I don't know, but I don't wanna hide from this, because society tells you that you need to, quote unquote, dislike work. If I like work, that's completely fine, and I'm proud of it. Like, it's something positive. I feel like people tell you that you need to hate work, but it's good to like what you do, just as a side note. So yeah, if you like what you do and you like the people that you're doing it with, just be a little bit careful with the lines between coworkers and friendships. And I feel like now I learn, and to learn you have to go through the hardships, is that the word, I guess? Because there's no way to learn if you don't go through it. And it's like I was saying before, it's great to go to work and to work with friends, but it's always good until it isn't, because at some point all these feelings, all this happiness can go towards the other way. And at least for me, I experienced complete both sides. Like, I was the happiest I've been ever, I want to say, because I was working with people that I loved and adored. And then after work, I was also counting on those same people and other people. But then the same that I was on a high, at some point it went completely the other way. Oh, this is a good thumbnail, I think. It went completely the other way because there's so much feelings involved. And then same thing that I was on this high, at some point I went like this, and this is absolutely horrible, because in my case, I don't think I experienced a lot of anxiety, discomfort at work. At times, yeah, but usually it's not because of people, it's because of the amount of work that I have. Like, the stress is coming because of the tasks that I need to do, or because of the deadlines, not because of the people. And in this case, it was coming because of the people. And I'm not blaming these people, because I was also wrong in some scenarios. It's so easy to blame everyone around you for the things that you don't like, but we are also the ones involved in this situation, so we also have to be accountable, and we also need to reflect and see what are we doing wrong? Because it's really easy to say, to go through life just thinking that you're the absolute best, that you're the and you're not doing anything wrong, and everyone around you is doing the wrong stuff. That's not the case, and that's really arrogant of you. That's not nice. So let's be accountable. But I guess this comes with age, and it's not like I'm 50, I'm 31. But I guess this comes with experience and growing and all this shit that people don't like. But yeah, I think I'm rambling, so I'll put an end to this. And just be careful, because from all the experiences you learn. You know what, just don't be careful, just live life. And if something hurts you, if something don't go the way that you were expecting it to go, you will learn from the experience. But if I would have been careful all the time, I wouldn't have been on this high that I really enjoyed, and then I went to this really low that I really despised and that I disliked a lot. But I don't know if I regret it, because I was really high, I was really happy, and then I was really unhappy. But yeah, you learn from your experiences. That's all I'm trying to say. And communicate, because you don't need to take for granted things that the other people you expect he's doing or saying or all this stuff. And now I'm really repeating myself, so let's leave it at that. See you soon, like, subscribe, all this stuff, and bye bye.